again. Welcome back to the second episode of the Potential Maximizer podcast. If you're here, it means something in you is still reaching, still searching, still believing that there's more to you than what the world sees right now. Today, I want to tell you another story, a different one, but just as real. It's about someone who thought their weakness was a flaw until they discovered it was just untapped strength. Let's talk about Leila. Now, Leila could be anyone, a friend, a colleague, maybe even you. She had this one belief that followed her around like a shadow. I'm just not good at that. Not in a dramatic way, more like a quiet resignation. She said it when someone suggested she lead the client presentation. She said it when her manager encouraged her to speak more confidently. She said it to herself every time she avoided the things that scared her. Leila worked in marketing, sharp eye, great instincts, but if a task involved data analysis or public speaking, she froze. She'd laugh it off. I'm just more of a behind-the-scenes person, she'd say. No one questioned it, not even her, until one day something small but piercing happened. During a strategy session, her teammate Mark gave a rough but bold pitch idea. It wasn't polished, but it landed. Everyone loved it, and Leila sat there quietly, heart racing, because she had thought of the same angle days ago, but talked herself out of it. Not because it was bad, because she didn't trust she could deliver it right. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept replaying the meeting, her silence, the rising frustration. Not at Mark, but at herself. She whispered it in the dark like a confession. I think I'm hiding too much of me. That was the crack, the start. But it didn't immediately get better. She Googled things like how to build confidence, why am I bad at speaking, how to fix my weaknesses. She journaled. She judged herself for still hesitating. She kept thinking, maybe this is just how I am. Some people are good at this. I'm not. But in one of those late-night rabbit holes, she came across a podcast talking about neuroplasticity, how the brain literally rewires with deliberate practice. It said something like, what you think is a weakness might just be something you've never trained. She paused, rewound, listened again. That line wouldn't leave her. It planted a seed. What if I'm not broken? Just unpracticed? So Leila tried something new. She didn't leap into TED Talks or throw herself on a stage. She started small. She recorded herself talking for 1 minute about a topic she liked. The first video was awful. Her voice shook. She cringed at the playback, but she did it again the next day. Then again. Eventually she noticed something. Her sentences started to flow. Her voice didn't catch as much. She wasn't suddenly great at it, but she was growing. And that changed everything. Because for the first time, Leila stopped avoiding her so-called weakness and started training it like a muscle. Later, she reframed other things too, like how she always felt too sensitive in meetings. But that sensitivity, it made her an incredible listener, or how she overanalyzed decisions. But it turned out she was the most strategic thinker on the team. She just needed to learn how to trust the timing of her insights. She didn't erase those traits, she redirected them. And with that shift, her weaknesses started turning into superpowers. Months later, her manager pulled her aside. You've changed, they said. You've found your voice, and it's powerful. Leila smiled, not because she was now some polished speaker or flawless communicator, but because she had finally stopped seeing her growth areas as shameful. She had stopped hiding the parts of her she thought were flaws and started building them into strengths. You know, I think we all carry something that we've quietly labeled a weakness. Maybe it's the fear of being seen, or the belief that we're not naturally good at something, so we avoid it. But what if you didn't have to? What if the only difference between your weakness and someone else's strength is practice? And what if the traits you've been hiding, your sensitivity, your overthinking, your introversion, are actually your edge once you know how to use them? So here's the invitation, no pressure. What's something you've always labeled as a weakness? What would happen if, instead of running from it, you got curious and leaned in? Just a little. You don't have to fix yourself, you just have to grow where you've never grown before. Thanks for being here, and wherever you are in your story, I hope you give yourself permission to take the next small, brave step. See you next time.